because the Bitcoin market is down. It's scary what's happening. No, I'm frazzled because the whole internet was down today. Did y'all know that? Like pretty much almost all the internet at some point was down. And so we've been dealing with a lot of technical issues. A lot of technical issues, as you guys can see there. More technical issues. But you know what I did? You guys know what I did? I called the internet. And I said, internet, listen. Bitcoin is crashing right now. My people need me. And of course, it didn't reply because it isn't a real thing. But I told him, I said, I don't care what has to happen. I'll get Karen up there. You guys reset the internet router. So we were able to get live today. But we're doing it a little bit janky today. But you guys, see, here's what you don't realize. You're calling me Latte Boy because you think I'm always latte. Sometimes at Starbucks, it takes too long to make it. Okay? Don't be judging me. But we're here. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We got to have a serious conversation, guys. And we're going to have a very serious conversation about Bitcoin, probably during the chart section. We're going to talk about what's going on with Bitcoin. And then I really want to shape up. I really want to tell you guys what I believe is happening. And it's a little controversial. You guys know me.
You love your controversy.
I'm a stranger to controversy and ruffling feathers. But we are going to be talking about kind of some bigger things going on right now you need to know about. It's kind of hard to get a little specific with some of it, but at the end of the day, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. We'll finish up with that. So first and foremost, as always, guys, we are on YouTube here, on the YouTube channel here. 1.09 million subscribers. As you guys know, we are the largest crypto channel in all the interwebs. And let me tell you, you guys got to know, YouTube is doing some funny business with crypto right now. It's not just my channel going through it. As you guys know, it's basically every channel out there is getting hit by about a 50% reduction in watches and a 50% reduction in new subscribers. YouTube, ever since they did a change with their terms of services, they have done something funky in limited crypto content. So a lot of people would sit there and they'd say, well, it obviously is because the markets are down. Well, in all reality, when the markets are down and they're crashing and they're burning, that's usually when we actually see the very most traction. So that's actually not correct. That's why these things are really popular on YouTube, where you say the market's crashing and everybody comes to watch your video, which we're not going to do that anymore. I've decided.
Okay.
What do you think about that, TJ?
I agree. I like that.
Yeah. We are no longer going to take part. And look, we're not judging anybody. We know why people do it. And they have pure motivation for doing it. They want people to watch the video, and things like that. But we are no longer going to be doing emergency red Bitcoin crashing thumbnails. That's a big decision we made. And why is that? Well, I'm tired of playing the game that these people want us to play. I am going to take my ball and go home. And we're going to start with some new messages on this channel that are bigger than just what is Bitcoin going to do tomorrow. Because while a lot of people out there on YouTube have to take advantage of what's happening here and now, we're the channel that's been established. We're going to be around for a long time. Our numbers bear that out. A lot of people, other people will be as well. But we want to start looking at the bigger picture of what's happening with crypto. So the adoption, everything like that. And you guys, you can take part in our community by getting on Twitter. If you guys didn't know that, we've got 416,000 followers on Twitter. Definitely want you guys to come over there. This is where, I retweet stuff. Like somebody did this. They said, when Google asks you about the best, it's the next one, about the best, you give them the best. If not, if you're not following and watching BitBoy Crypto, New Money Gang, and Hidden Network, you're truly missing out. What company has the best YouTube videos? This guy put us. So I retweeted him. Big shout out to him and everybody that follows us. Interestingly enough, we're actually seeing numbers trail off on other platforms as well right now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting. Some of that may be natural due to the dropping of the markets and things like that. But let's go ahead and get started here with the markets. Let's go to Coin Market Cap here. And let's refresh that so we get the latest number. All right. So, guys, right now the market cap is coming in at $1.46 trillion. We have seen Bitcoin take a massive drop today. It has bounced a little bit encouraging news. But the 24-hour volume is up about 40% from yesterday.
It was low yesterday.
Ooh, got under 80, I think.
Yeah.
Under $80 billion.
Scary low.
Who can't trade $80 billion? You know, I could trade that in a day.
We got Ethereum ticking back up towards 20%.
Look at that, 19.2. Bitcoin dominance at 41.2%. The Gwei is up to 50 Gwei. 50 Gwei. Wow, that's really crazy. So let's just kind of look at some of the top cappers here. Well, if you scroll up a little bit to where it says today's crypto prices, that's pretty interesting, guys. The global market cap is down 11.6%. And this is pretty interesting if you think about it, because we had so much good news over the weekend. The only bad news that came out since Friday or since Thursday up until yesterday afternoon. So Thursday night, Friday, it really was positive before that, pretty much all week. The only bad news that came out over the weekend was Elon tweeting about Bitcoin again. That's literally the only thing. Everything else has been super positive. But are we seeing a place where we're getting a lot of super positive news and excitement about Bitcoin, about things that are in the future, like sovereign money coming in, like, you know, institutions, corporations, treasuries, laws, regulation? But are we hitting a point where some of that stuff is actually hurting the market? Because a lot of pull from these governments that aren't using it. You know, are we starting to see a resistance to crypto? That's a question to start thinking about.
What do you mean by like hurting it? You're saying like the big people getting threatened by it that want to see it fail now that were ignoring it before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we get to the Orange Man quote there.
Yeah. Well, originally I had Orange Man versus Orange Coin, but it was too long.
Too long.
It would have been perfect though.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. But obviously, due to our overlords here, we can't even probably say that person's name, I don't think. Maybe we can. I don't know. It definitely is not good to say on any platform.
Yeah.
So whether you agree or disagree with the politics there, I mean, the fact is, there's certain words we got to stay away from. Yes, YouTube, we'll do whatever you want. I hate these people. I should come out with my own YouTube competitor. That's what I should do. We should build our own YouTube competitor and crush them.
Yeah, or just, I mean, that's part of why we switched to vMix. As frustrating as vMix was today, we had a lot of issues with our regular getting the stream to work the way it's supposed to work. We had a lot of technical issues this morning, but that was part of why we did it, is so we could get on Theta.
Yeah.
And so we need to, as frustrating and as difficult as it is to use these decentralized platforms, I think we need to start making a big push on those.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've been wanting to do for a while. So, but they don't make it real easy.
No.
You know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, we're not talking about Theta, like talking about the streaming software, you know, that where we can stream other places as well, can get kind of difficult. And look, we're all for pushing decentralization, but there's a lot of decentralized platforms out there that if all we did was stream content to those decentralized platforms, nobody would see our content. So, also we have, we are getting our Twitch going this week, I think.
Yes.
Right.
It was supposed to be today, but I spent an
Had some
hour and a
issues.
half on this instead.
Well, let's come back here and look at the markets. Let's look at the top coins here. We got Bitcoin coming in at $32,197, down 10.7%. We have Ethereum down 12.95%. Interestingly enough, getting hit a little bit harder than Bitcoin, probably because Ethereum was on a little bit better of a run than Bitcoin was. We have Tether continuing to move ahead. You guys remember when Tether was all the way down at like number 7 or 8? Now the stable coin starting to move up. And look at the volume on Tether. I mean, the volume on Tether is $98 billion, way higher than Bitcoin and Ethereum combined. So it just shows, 60% of the market is stable coins. Binance Coin down 14%. Cardano getting crushed right now. XRP getting crushed.
It is interesting. Look at that volume drop off from the top 3 to, like that's insane. That shows how much is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether.
Well, that's why when people tell you that something's going to catch Ethereum soon, I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. Look how close the volume is for Ethereum to Bitcoin. And then you've got Tether, which most of that trading, by the way, is done on the Ethereum blockchain.
Right.
And so if you count Tether, the Ethereum network together against Bitcoin is not even close. Ethereum decimates it.
It is interesting to see how similar Binance, Cardano, and Dogecoin are in volume. Like almost, I mean, within. I mean, obviously the number difference is big, but relatively close. When you're talking
and then
billions.
you got Polkadot falling way behind, back to $20 today. It's not a great feeling on the markets today, guys. I'm sure you guys are picking that up. But the important thing is to try to figure out, like, should you be buying the dip?
Right.
And like I was talking, we have CryptoFace on today at 3, so you guys make sure to come back for that video. He's going to tell you it's not a charts video. We're not even really talking about market cipher. We're talking about the overall health of the market. And I tell you, he's definitely a lot more bearish than I am. But he's just saying, look at the charts, and the charts right now are not looking that great. No. I still believe that things will come back, but, I don't know. Will they? Maybe not. I think part of it is we've been right for so long about Bitcoin. And listen, guys, you guys can, the haters out there, they can say, oh, you said eat the 2,500 by Valentine's Day. You said this, you said that. Not every single little prediction out there we got correct. But go back and hear what I was saying about Ethereum at $200. Okay? Go back when a year and a half I predicted the Bitcoin all-time high within 7 days. Okay? We made a lot of big predictions in the larger scale that proved to be right 100%. And yes, we might have missed something by 2 months. But the fact is, it's hard for me to imagine that after being right for so long about where we thought this market was going, that all of a sudden it could just flip and just go the other way. And so I still think it's going to rally, but there is going to come a point where you say, maybe it's not. One thing is certain, we didn't get a V-shaped recovery. We did not get a V-shaped recovery, okay? But when you go back and you look at the March recovery for Bitcoin, that wasn't really a V-shaped recovery either. It took about a month. So we're not yet to that month point that recovered in. But the fact is that there has to be a point where we take our ball and go home, and you realize, like, okay, in the short term, things are not going to go back up. But I don't think we're there yet. I think today is definitely a challenging day, a test to see your hodling skills or your hodling strength. One thing's for sure, I moved a bunch of money over to USDC about a week and a half ago, and you guys murdered me over it. And guess what happened? It's below by a long shot. It's down like almost 10% from where I sold out. So, but I think, and those were altcoins. I didn't sell Ethereum or Bitcoin or anything like that. But I think this is where we really have to get to a place where we understand what we're doing here. And we are making waves. And we're going to talk about a lot of these waves that are getting made across the crypto landscape today. But at some point, we've got to either let these institutions win and just say, all right, we'll just watch charts, we'll trade on a daily basis, and we won't try to take advantage of any of the life-changing or generational changing, world system-changing effects that Bitcoin can have, and we're just going to, okay, we'll just make money on it. Or at some point, we got to dig our heels in, and we got to say, F the man. We got to say, F the institutions, F the banks. We're holding our Bitcoin and we're not selling. And if we do that, then we are going to win, okay? Because what these and listen, guys, I got a lot of info coming to me right now. What these institutions are trying to do is they are trying to force you to sell. Now, look, they may force it down all the way to $9,000. I don't care. I'm not selling. I'm not selling Bitcoin anymore at this point. That's what they want from you. I still believe that at some point they will send the prices back up. But this market, do you guys understand when we see people like Scott Minerd and Guggenheim Partners, when we see Goldman Sachs so desperate to stay in the news about crypto, when we see all of these, JP Morgan desperate to stay into crypto, writing a FUD report last week and then withdrawing it, I think they put it out 12 hours too early. They were supposed to work with Elon to dump the price more, but they didn't. Don't think that's not happening, okay? We will never be able to remove these people from crypto. We won't be able to do it. but you have the choice to sell or not. And this is not some desperate captain crying and yelling as his ship is going down. It's being filled with water as he knows his imminent demise is coming. That's not what this is about. This is about something more than watching the value of something, okay? This is about standing up to these people, to these banks, to these institutions, to the hedge funds, and say, you can run over everybody else, but for my Bitcoin, you're going to have to come and take it. And that's what I'm going with. So we're going to be telling you a lot more about that in the coming weeks as we figure out more and more information. But this is my official F y'all bird flipping moment to these institutions. I will never speak favorably about any of them again, ever. And you know what they're going to probably try to do? Silence me. But you know what? I got a big mouth.
97 on guts.
Come and take it. Let's move on.
All right,
I got
Bitcoin
fired
chart.
up. I got fired up.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, it's true. It's how I feel. All right. So let's go to the Bitcoin chart here and see what we're looking at. You guys know this is the 4-hour chart. Is that what that is?
That is correct.
On the 4-hour chart, we did get a blood diamond a few weeks ago. That would have been back shortly after the bounce. And ever since that blood diamond, it's gone down. Now, yesterday we were talking about how if you look at the wicks on the downside, starting with the one over there with on the left side, we were getting higher lows. And that was good news. That seemed like we were on an uptrend. Well, as soon as we talked about that on a video and showed you guys that uptrend, what happened? It broke. And now we've officially made lower lows. Now, let's see. It looks, let me see what the low is on this here. 31.1 versus 31.09. So we have now made the second lowest wick of this dump. The first being, of course, the May 19th, plunge to death. So now it's looking like we are on a downtrend for Bitcoin. And when you really, if you zoom out and look, when you zoom out though, here's the thing. There you go. When you zoom out and you really look, this is what I was thinking about this morning, okay? What I was thinking about this morning is, can you stretch it out a little bit more? That's what you said?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You know how to do it?
Yeah. You mean stretch it
No,
this
widthwise,
way?
widthwise. Make it wider for me,
Yeah.
Daddy. What? Yeah, there you go. There
Which
you go.
way?
Keep doing, yeah, that way. A little bit more. Close the thing in the top right. Top right.
Yeah.
Just hit the pad with the 3 dots.
It's
Nope,
just,
more
I
to the
know,
right.
there's a few.
You can't get over there.
Well, I have to, because I was zoomed out.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's hard. See, you see what I deal with this trading view? It's crazy. That's mine. Just leave it like that. Here's what I want you guys to really notice here. Okay, when you're really looking at this,
Oh.
it looks like we're certainly on a downtrend. But if you really look at the dump, okay, starting the middle of May, and you look all the way to where we're at now, we get caught up so much in the day-to-day movements, dropping from 39 to 36, 35 to 32. When you really zoom out and you look at the 4-hour chart, it just looks like sideways action once it dumped. Is that not what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Sideways action. And, I was really thinking once again about the longer term Bitcoin chart, thinking about the 2013, 2014 chart. You have to know that when Bitcoin dumped in the middle of that, okay, that everybody had this feeling that it was over. That's what happens. The Newpol definitely bears that out. But the fact is that in reality, it was not done yet. And so we don't know at this point. I told you guys a few weeks ago, we would have to wait a couple weeks before we could really make some determinations on where the market is going. It's been 2 weeks. And so for me, what I'm looking at is it just seems like we've been stuck in sideways action. We have not made a new low. That's the important thing. If we do make a new low, we've got different numbers to look at, okay? Goes down to 27K, 24K. If it goes below that, it certainly is worrisome. Peter Brandt came out today, a guy who I hate and don't respect at all, who kind of sucks as a human being, but that's another story, okay? He's another guy who came out He also said he thinks Bitcoin can go to zero. So when people say that, you got to think, how smart are they? But he said that he doesn't believe Bitcoin will go below 21,000. And it might be time for us to start looking at if Bitcoin does go into a bear market, okay? Where are we looking at it going to? Like what number would you say this is the lowest it can go? As long as you're buying in, around this number, you'll probably be fine. I don't know what it is. There is precedent in the history of Bitcoin for it to retrace past its previous all-time high, but not by much.
Which was 20K if you were new.
Right. So I would probably, if you were to just, I'm just spitballing here. Okay, I got no math to back this up. But if you were to say, what do I think the low for Bitcoin could be, like in the depth of a bear market, I'd probably say like 12K. 12K is such strong support. I couldn't see it going below that. And I know that's like an apocalyptic, predictable every 4-year thing, because if you look at 12K, 64K would have been the peak. 12K would be about an 80% drop, somewhere thereabouts. So that's kind of traditionally what we've seen. I don't think we'll ever see a 4-digit Bitcoin again, but I didn't think we'd see below 47K again. You see what happened. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Go ahead.
That was right on cue. Somebody in the chat said, next T-shirt, we will not see 47K again.
Now, let's be clear about this. When I said we won't see 47K again, that was assuming that the prices were going to continue going up. And 47K would be like the 3K of 2017 or 2019 when it dropped that low. No, 2018 when it dropped that low. So, yeah, I don't look, once we retraced under it, and it became very clear we're not in a straight up trajectory, then yeah, what I said didn't really make any sense. I was assuming that it was going to keep running and we were going to go up to 80K and then 90K and then 100K and then get to the numbers we wanted to get to, and then 47 could be the floor. But I would also like to point out before you say that, Elon tweeted at the bottom of that dump, which is what pushed it below that heavy support level, obviously.
Yeah. No, I was just going to tell you, you had asked where people's numbers were. There was a couple of people that kind of agreed with you, that 11, 12, 13K range. But for the most part, a lot of people are looking at 20,
yep.
Like we mentioned, that previous all-time high. And then there's a lot of people in here saying they don't think it'll go below 29 ever again, which there does seem to be a lot of really strong support at 29. We've seen that on multiple different dips. But
at 31,000, we've now hit basically a double bottom on that, know. The first dip was down to 28.9, but then both of these second ones bottomed right at 31. So I think there's evidence to support that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I do think there's evidence to support that. And guys, I certainly want that, but I also want you guys to be prepared. Like, there's a lot of negativity out there right now. And there's a lot of people that are saying that we are going to go much lower, and I got to give you that information. I was very impressed that it held at 31 today, but we'll have to see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the day's not over.
Yeah, the day's not over. But right now, kind of what I'm thinking is, it's one of the most bullish things to me right now is that you guys know that Bitcoin shorts are increasing every day. And this is something I talked about with Base this morning that we'll show this video at 3 today, which is, nobody sold $20,000 in 2017. Nobody sold there, okay? A tiny, tiny little fraction of people obviously did, okay? But 99% of people felt like it was still going up. Mm-hmm. That's how you knew you were in the euphoric stage, right? There were people that sold the top of this one. And so because of that, it makes you think maybe it's not the top. Maybe we will get that second bubble. But as these shorts are increasing and more people are feeling confident that the price is going down, that in itself could be a sign that maybe we're going to get a reversal. Well, and maybe today will be the start, but
that was a good
not good
point you made about people timing and selling the top. I saw a good tweet. It was actually Nikos this morning tweeted. He said, very, very few people can sell the absolute top, maybe 2 to 5%. And a lot of that is skill. Some of it is a little bit of luck, and if you can, hats off to you. But that's what he said. He learned, from that 64K top of like, quit trying to time the top, take profits on the way up. So, it's traders are learning, people are learning. If you're in good profits, take it. Like a lot of people didn't like the alt sell last week, the taking the profits on Matic and some of those other ones that we were way in the green. But
which was very awkward when we were talking to Matic.
that was funny.
We were talking to Matic at the fight the other night. So we were talking to them, and we were up there, and they said, "Oh, we're from Polygon, so nice to meet you." I met two people that work there. Very nice young lady and a guy that worked there. And so I had to get it out of the way. I said, "Oh, we love you guys." Now, we did just sell all of our Matic. I got to get this out. We're looking for a new position.
Right.
I didn't want them to find out later. We do love Matic, though. I think, what's it at today? I wonder. Let me look at Coin Market Cap. Polygon coming in at $1.38. We sold it at $1.65. Maybe time for a new entry. So who knows? We're trying to. We're hoping we're gonna be able to work with Polygon. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we can get some Polygon from them direct. That'd be nice. I'm for hire, Polygon. Come hire me. I am Polly.
Polly Pocket. Polly want a cracker?
I'm nobody's parrot. That was actually a polyamorous joke, but I am not in fact polyamorous.
Okay.
That's what the kids on TikTok are talking about all the time.
Yeah.
Poly. So I didn't know what that word was until I got on TikTok. No offense to the poly community. We love your upside down pineapples.
It's amazing what you learn on TikTok, huh?
It is amazing. I've learned so much on there that I didn't know that I didn't know. I didn't know that I didn't want to know about.
Yeah.
Until I found out about it. BJ also a good source of bad stuff you don't want to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a guy that runs our stream. So.
The night stream. TJ and a BJ.
Oh wow, that is really amazing. Okay, so let's move on here. Talk about Ethereum. When it comes to the Ethereum chart, like things were looking really, really bullish. Things were looking really good, and then of course we got this gigantic drop today. But right now it looks like Ethereum might be maybe getting ready to recover. It went all the way down to 2308.
What time frame?
The 4-hour chart I'm looking at here.
Same.
Yeah, well, I figured you love that 4-hour chart. So anyways, for Ethereum, there's a lot of bullish stuff going on with Ethereum right now, regardless of what we're seeing in the numbers play out. Right now, and like on the 4-hour chart, we do have the money flow in the green, which is good, positive news. We are seeing that kind of start to come back, which is good. Ethereum, here's something that's really interesting. Something that's really interesting, well, number one is the fact that on all the data, all the statistics, the interest in Ethereum right now is higher than the interest in Bitcoin. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I tell you, when we were at the Bitcoin conference, something that really amazed me was, like, the maxis were there, but I think the majority of people there were more just general crypto people. I'd say by a long shot.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of big Bitcoin fans there, a lot of people that only believe in Bitcoin, but I would say that was maybe 10 to 15% of the people there.
Yeah.
And the rest would have been, big Bitcoin fans. They believe in Bitcoin. They knew their stuff, but they were also interested in a lot of other projects, a lot of other technologies and things that can make an impact.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's pull that chart back up, and if you could kind of zoom in where the first date at the bottom is the 21st of May. Yeah. Zoom in a little more. Sorry, I'm not controlling my own screen today.
Right in
More,
here?
No, more.
You want it taller or zoomed?
Well, I want to show all the bottoms. So pull it up, and then to the left.
Over here?
No, the bottom's starting after the crash. Do you not know where the crash is?
Well, you said May 21st, right? Oh, May. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're on the wrong day.
I saw May 21.
Yeah, I know. You saw 21. That was confusing. So, yeah, now zoom in a little bit more so we can... That's fine. That'll work. That'll work. Go back to where you had it. Once see the end. Yeah, so the interesting thing as we were... If you could, circle those two yellow... Or those two bottoms there. See if he's better than me at this circling. Oh, you're terrible already?
Yeah.
All right, don't worry about it. So here's the thing, guys. When you're looking at this chart, we just looked at the Bitcoin chart. Now, the Bitcoin chart actually just made not a new low, but a lower low. Okay, look at the Ethereum chart. Even with what we just experienced, unless we have a bloody altcoin day tomorrow, which is possible, we are still making higher lows regardless of what Bitcoin is doing. Okay, so what this means is Ethereum is still extremely strong versus Bitcoin. I think if we were to go and we were to look at the Bitcoin dominance or the Ethereum to Bitcoin value, what you would see is that I think it's probably gone up. Can you go pull up that chart? You know how to do that? Go up and just type in the top left, Ethereum Bitcoin. And it'll be the first one. It's Binance. Just make a space. Just ETH. Yeah, Bitcoin. There it is. Binance, first one. Okay. So let's see what this is looking like here. I mean, up until we dumped in the last 8 hours, I mean, we were clearly on a strong uptrend for Bitcoin dominance level, or for Ethereum versus Bitcoin value. So regardless of what's going on with the individual price right now, we are once again on a very solid uptrend. Like, this is the kind of, here's what's interesting is, this is the kind of recovery we want to see from Bitcoin against the US dollar, where it goes down, it gets pounded, and then it's just continually climbing up. And right now, we are almost back to, not all-time highs, because all-time highs like 15%, but the high in this cycle is 8.25%, with a value of 1 Ethereum versus 1 Bitcoin. Right now, even after this dump, we're still at 7.5%. So I think we may be heading back to all-time highs for Ethereum, not US dollar value, but versus Bitcoin, or new highs for this cycle anyways. So, all right, let's move on. Let's see, the ETH inflows are $331 million. That's good stuff there. But let's move on to the, where's the story? I'm looking for the hacker stories. The one that says, has the U as the logo at the top. You see it? It's like very far in.
Oh, so they're not in order?
Well, there were a bunch of stories that were pulled like while we were talking about the charts.
Got it.
But I didn't get to go over all those because we were doing the charts.
So what's the headline?
No, FBI did not hack Bitcoin. It's from that U Today. Got it? Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. So yesterday we were on the Around the Blockchain show, which was a great show yesterday. You guys make sure to come every day. You guys know YouTube is hiding us from people. Come at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Around the Blockchain. But we were talking about with Wendy yesterday. Wendy said she thought it was from a centralized exchange. And then I read all the stories, and the story said that wasn't true. The story said that it was, there was no mention of an exchange. And so people were really scared. That means Bitcoin had been hacked, right? There are a lot of explanations for that if it did happen that do not necessarily involve something getting hacked. But cryptography expert Adam Back explains why the FBI did not even come close to hacking a Bitcoin wallet when it confiscated $2.3 million in Bitcoin. So the chief executive officer of Blockstream, Adam Back, has taken to Twitter to dispel news the FBI and Department of Justice were able to hack Bitcoin, the Bitcoin wallet of DarkSide. He insists that the agencies recovered the money without hacking the wallet since it's not possible. Back shared that the hackers had rented a cloud server to hold the Bitcoin. We got to talk about this story. The FBI and Department of Justice took control of the server and seized the coins. How does that make sense? A cloud server that holds your Bitcoin? Is that computing to you?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
I mean, unless they're talking about like a software wallet that was hosted on a cloud. It is weird.
I don't know how that's even possible. But here's the point, guys. And we'll move on to the next story here, where they're continuing to talk about this, which is U.S. Senator, we haven't figured out how to trace crypto. Why is this an issue? So on one hand, we've got them saying that, we hacked it. And then on the other hand, they're like, we don't even know how to trace it. Basically, without the help of CipherTrace or Chainalysis, government can't track crypto, which so funny. Like, we've not yet figured out how to put GPS technology into dollar bills, have we?
No.
Is that these people want you to have no privacy. If this is not what you're understanding here, they don't want you. And you know, I've been thinking a lot about this. We're going to talk about why this story stinks so bad in general. This whole Colonial Pipeline hack, because something's. I'll just go and say this: something ain't right here.
A lot of stuff seems fishy.
Very, very, very fishy stuff. It's
Well, and it was-
almost like, is this some kind of, event to make it put crypto in the spotlight,
Yep.
so people can FUD it, or
Well-
people can,
And if you go back when we were talking about all the other FUD with the energy stuff and China banning Bitcoin, India banning Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff, we were saying Tether FUD. We were saying we've heard all of this FUD before. The only thing missing was a big criminal enterprise taking
said
Bitcoin
it.
for money. And then here it is. Yeah, and then the other thing you mentioned, it's all positive all weekend. Saturday, Sunday, great news. Monday, nothing crazy going on. And then all of a sudden, 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, bad story after bad story after bad story.
it's pretty sketch.
Pretty sketch.
It's pretty sketch, if you ask me.
And from what I saw, I don't know if you saw the text I sent you last night with the warrant. The FBI more or less
Yeah.
had to use a warrant to recover this. So they did get a third party.
Coinbase is probably where it is.
Most
which
likely.
We'll get a little more into that here in just one second. What was the other thing I wanted to say though? I had something I wanted to say about
Now I made you forget.
something about something. It was good too. It was really good. It was really good.
Something about why no privacy.
Yeah, I think that's where I was going. Like, they want you to have no privacy. They want you. Oh, this is what I was thinking about. So we yesterday signed up for Clear.
Yeah, I thought that while we were signing up for it. I was like, good Lord, this is a lot of bio data they're getting
Yeah,
from us.
I don't care because I wanted to not miss my plane.
Same.
But convenience.
Yeah. They get you.
But the thing is, what I was thinking about around all this is that you guys may not know this. You get so much good information on this channel. Taylor Swift. You guys know Taylor Swift. She's obviously a musician known for wearing cardigans.
Sweater weather.
I don't know why she always has to give her card twice. It doesn't make sense to me. But she actually is the only musician out there that does facial recognition at her concerts because she's had a bad problem with stalkers. Now, I usually just take pictures with them. I don't try to get them to not come to my shows. But in all seriousness, though, the reason she did that is because she did have some serious stalker problems. So all of her concerts have facial recognition. And I've been thinking about, in the NBA, there's been a lot of problems in the last couple of weeks. A Knicks fan spit on Trae Young. We had a fan, I can't remember what they did, like said something racist or something to Russell Westbrook. There was another NBA player, I think Kyrie Irving, had a problem with a fan. A lot of people, the analysts are like, people just don't know how to act now that they're out of their house from the thing, pandemic. I'm just like, how stupid is that?
That is.
This has been going on forever. It's just whatever. Right now, it's catching the news. But they can't really kick somebody out of a game permanently, right? Like, you kick somebody out, you say you're not allowed here again. But actually, I was listening to them on SportsCenter talking about it, and they're saying, well, yeah, but that's the problem. There's no way to actually know because they don't ID you when you come in the game, right? Facial recognition is where all this is going. Okay, that means if you do something at a game that someone doesn't like, they actually can kick you out for life. And all the NBA arenas would work together with it. They'd all have the same system. So you can't go to any NBA game. And I was like, that's so crazy to think that that's where we're at in the world right now. And look, like, do you really want somebody who is a 19-year-old kid, did something stupid and then he can't go to a game for the rest of his life? That's a different argument, okay? But the point is that we are heading to a place where there's no privacy. Everything you do is going to be tracked. And crypto is all part of this. It's the resistance. This is the resistance to that. We are literally living in Star Wars times right now. The Empire is trying to crush us. We are the rebellion. That's what we are here. That's what we are in crypto. Because people will tell you that, crypto and cash, they're so much different. They're not. Crypto and cash are almost the exact same thing. Okay? Fiat currency is something totally different. Cash allows you to have privacy in your transactions. Do you want everybody to know every single transaction that you've ever made? I don't know. I don't know what you go when you go to that weird aisle at CVS. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. They sell some weird stuff on that aisle. I haven't been there. Okay.
Which
Okay. Listen, but here's the truth, though. The truth is we deserve privacy. The Great Reset, these people, the IMF, they don't want you to ever have privacy again. Crypto is the modern version of cash. We can do things off the books if we want to. I'm not saying I want to do it, okay? You can use it and it's untraceable, okay? They hate that because they want you to be a product. They want you to be a commodity. That's what the world is becoming, and this is the way that we fight back, okay? Let's talk about this pipeline thing.
Well, and real quick, a lot of people on that privacy issue, when you were asking about, like, do you really want somebody seeing every single one of your transactions? The common response a lot of people say is like, oh, I don't mind. I have nothing to hide. And unless you have something to hide, you don't really need privacy. But that's a ridiculous statement. And one of my favorite quotes from Snowden about that is something along the lines of arguing that you don't care about privacy or arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is basically the same thing as saying you don't need free speech because you have nothing to say. And it's just, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, do you guys want cameras in your bathrooms?
No.
Are you sure?
Well,
I can take it out.
Maybe your bathroom.
I can take it out, DJ, if you want me to remove it. But no, I mean, seriously, like, there's a reason why, like, a bathroom is seen as something that's sacred, right? Like, well, something that's sacred to throne, you know? But it's because you go in there, you do some business, you don't want people seeing your business, okay?
You want some privacy.
You want some privacy.
Well,
they want that to change, too.
Especially on yacht bathrooms, right?
That's a long story. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Okay.
I'm not telling that on air.
Well, I know.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. They want to remove that. They want to remove every piece of privacy that you have. And eventually it's going to get to where the government was going to want to have cameras in every single one of your rooms because what if you're hiding a murderer in your bathroom? You guys see the slippery slope? Mm-hmm. This is what I always tell people. When they say this thing of like, I don't care if I have privacy in my transactions. What is legal today may be illegal tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, you certainly think that, you know, all of these people that put up statues all over the country for Confederate heroes, you think they ever thought that they would be ripped down? You know, I'm not praising those people, okay? But my point is those people were living their best lives at that time, pretty much. They were living and they were like, oh, well, people, I'm a hero. Like, look, people like, not all of them, but some of them, Robert E. Lee, I'm sure he became president, right? He was president, or was that Ulysses S. Grant? Well, it was Robert Lee. He was never president.
No, he was a general.
He was a general, yeah. Ulysses S. Grant was a general from the North that became president, but that's a different story. Robert E. Lee, he surrendered. He was humiliated, but like, you know, people in the South, they praised him. They built statues of him. See how much that's turned in just a couple hundred years to where they remove these people's statues. Like, they will all be gone at some point. The history will be erased.
They were ripping down Washington stuff.
Abraham Lincoln, they were ripping down his stuff during all these riots, okay? The mood can change quickly. Like, hey, at some point, you're probably going to be considered a criminal if you eat bacon.
Well, that wouldn't. I'm safe.
I know that's why I don't trust you.
Because I don't eat bacon.
You don't eat bacon. If you don't eat bacon, I don't trust you. I'm sorry. Period.
It's fair.
But in all seriousness, like, I've thought for a long time that one of the next things is going to be, you know, that slippery slope is eating meat. Like, it's going to be illegal at some point. It's only a matter of time.
Bio meat.
Right. And do you want your Kroger receipts from the meat frozen section? You know, you want those traced back to your card. But here's the thing. I want to get, I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but I feel like this is very, very, very important what we're saying, okay? With what's going on here with all this. Something is not right here. Something stinks. If you are a hacking group sophisticated enough to be able to hack an East Coast pipeline and shut down half of the country pretty much for gas for a period of 2 to 3 days, whatever it was. But because I'll tell you this, my first question when I found out about all this, why do they not use Monero?
Right. That was everybody's
first question.
Yeah.
Okay. I was having a conversation with a guy about Bitcoin when this story broke. And they said, oh, they use crypto. I said, well, they definitely didn't use Bitcoin. Very traceable. Why would they use Bitcoin? They could use Monero or Zcash or any other, you know, I mean, I would look, brass tacks, I'm taking Monero if I'm doing something illegal, I guess. That's probably the safest bet.
Yeah.
But they didn't use that. They used Bitcoin sophisticated enough to hack the East Coast, but not sophisticated enough to hack. Oh, is he leaving?
Who?
You out of here? Hold on, Jay Chains is leaving.
Jay.
I love you, bro. I love you, bro. You're the man.
Dude. Have a good trip.
Yep, see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's Justin. That's Jay Chains leaving. Okay.
Dang, I wanted him to host tonight.
Oh, you did?
Well,
Ouch.
that's all right.
Looks like you're gonna have to do your job, eh? So something's not right here, guys. Okay. I don't know if this was set up. I mean, there's a chance, right? There's a chance the people that did it are just idiots.
Right, but like you said, even if they didn't take Monero, the people that are sophisticated enough to hack a pipeline and shut it
It's
down,
all gonna be washed.
they would know how to secure their Bitcoin. For
Absolutely.
sure. They wouldn't leave it on a centralized service. You wouldn't think.
No. Well, they never got Ross's Bitcoin, did they? He turned it in, I guess, at some point or something.
I think.
A lot of those people from Silk Road, they never got their Bitcoin, obviously. Now, they did seize a good bit. Like, I want you to think about this. Like, there was the big, he was actually like a world facial hair champion. I know it's crazy as it sounds. And he was in France, and he was traveling to Miami for a beard competition. He was also a giant drug dealer on the dark web. Okay? They had to do, and if you've ever seen the movie Silk Road that shows you what they had to do, or read the book Bitcoin Billionaires on what they had to do to get the computer from him to get access, they can't get access outside of having the physical device.
Right.
This guy ends up going to prison because he tried to bring his laptop in through the airport and didn't know he was on a watch list. And they took his, they waited until he had it open and he snatched it from him. Now he's, going to prison for being a dark web drug lord. Okay? So these people are smart. Now, you say he's an idiot for traveling with it, obviously, okay? But the point is, these people are not loosey-goosey with their security. That's the whole thing they specialize in. Mm-hmm. So there's something about this story that does not make sense. Watch the narrative that evolves around this. Watch the people who are talking about this. Watch what the story is. Watch who's covering it in what way. You might be able to get some answers. There's a lot going on behind the curtain more than just we had a couple days where we couldn't get gas. Okay? They're probably going to come after me next. And you know what I say? Come and take it. Come and take it. Sorry, I'm on that Texas rant. So let's see. What else was here about this? A bunch of on-chain stuff happening for Bitcoin. Let's move on to the next thing, though. Mr. Wonderful. That's like a giant guy named Tiny. Like, if you guys don't know, that's what this is. You guys ever see a giant guy named Tiny? It's like a joke. Mr. Wonderful. This guy's cutthroat. I don't know how wonderful this guy really is, but that's a different story. Kevin O'Leary, who recently allocated 3% of his portfolio in BTC, has no plans to sell his coins anytime soon, the millionaire told Crypto Potato in a recent exclusive interview. By the way, how many people are watching here?
We have about 15,500 and 3,800 likes.
All right, guys, let's try to get those likes up to 7,000. If you think I'm Mr. Wonderful, if you think I'm wonderful, smash the like button. If you hate me, also smash the like button. So either way. Also, if you're watching on mobile, by the way, you have to X out of the live chat, hit the like button, and then re-click the live chat icon. It'll literally take you 3 seconds. So you don't miss anything.
We really appreciate it. Makes a big
hold on.
difference.
I'll give you guys a 3-second face break.
Boom, boom, boom.
I wanted to hold it more than 3 seconds because it's so good looking.
I could tell.
Just a few days before the conference started, talking about Bitcoin 2021, Bitcoin had concluded May, which had been the second worst month for its price in its 11-year history. The monthly high touched the $60,000 mark on May 10th, only to crash 50% just 9 days later. O'Leary isn't worried about it at all. He said, I don't care if it goes down 20,000 or up 20,000. I'm not selling. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. I'm in it for the long run.
Wow.
Wow, I said that earlier today.
He changed his tune. He used to hate Bitcoin.
Well, not really.
Well, he
Not
used to
really.
He used to FUD it a lot, put it that way.
Well, I'll say this. Elio made a great video. Altcoin Daily did a video on it too. All two channels you guys should subscribe to. We like both those.
Yeah.
For sure. We like almost every large channel, except it's a long story. But we love people that grow in crypto. We love Elio. We love Altcoin Daily. Love George. Love Crypto Busy. Love a lot of these people. Okay. They made a great video on this. Can't remember who made it first, but it was basically, I think it was Elio that made it first. I'm not 100% sure. Basically about how Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary had both said super bullish things about Bitcoin in the very beginning, and then they said it was trash. Mostly Kevin O'Leary is the one. And the thing is, it was based on whatever news show he was going on. It was a narrative he was pushing. So maybe he's been orange pilled at this point.
Sounds like it.
And maybe this isn't narrative for him. If he's talking about he's not going to sell whether it goes up or down, that means he's not really trying to push a narrative. So he said, I'm not selling. So I don't know. I don't know if we can trust him yet, but maybe he can come over to our side. We'll have to see. Talking about, let's see, he said Musk was pressured by Tesla's shareholders. This is a different story, actually. Or is this O'Leary quoting this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. A big part of the latest volatility of Bitcoin's price came after Elon started tweeting about it. Most recently, we got our big Elon video tomorrow for you guys. Musk addressed the ESG issues of the mining process. Consequently, Tesla dropped BTC as a payment method, causing a plunge in its price. ESG is not going away. Elon was pressured, I believe, by his shareholders of Tesla to speak out about this because they live with sustainability communities or committees, and they're not on the side with Bitcoin being used as a currency to buy Tesla cars. So they probably pressured him to make the statement he made. Listen to that. That's very interesting. Why is it interesting? It's interesting because if you really read what this is saying, it's actually saying that his shareholders want dollars, they don't want Bitcoin. So they pressured him to make a negative statement about Bitcoin. It's exactly what we've been telling you is going on. There are things behind the scenes going on right now, forces that you cannot see. And it is time that we start standing up to these people. I tell you this, if you own Tesla as a stock, you're a traitor.
Not with a T, not a D. Right?
With a T. You're Benedict Arnold. And you can ask TJ. He's Benedict for a long time.
Oh, I knew that was coming. You can't say that name without making that joke.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate that, man.
No
Maybe you're not. Never mind. Okay. So, but the point is, look, I understand you guys are in this for money. I'm not going to call you a treasonous person for owning Tesla in all reality, but you should consider selling it. Michael Burry has like a gigantic short against Tesla.
Michael Burry, the guy who came out against the housing bubble back in 2008. If you've ever seen The Big Short, he's one of the featured characters.
Yep. And I think that, I mean, if you think about what these shareholders probably did, what they probably did is they probably all have Bitcoin themselves, millions and millions of dollars of Bitcoin. And by shareholders, I mean, you're talking about the board, right? The very top shareholder, the people that control the company. Elon is, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, he bought his ownership in Tesla. It's a long story, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. But these people probably own Bitcoin personally. They're probably like, listen, right now it's really high. Go out there, make this statement. Let's get dollars for our Bitcoin. And then at that point, if it drops a lot, we make the decision to take, you know, half the money we just got out and put it in and get the same amount. That stuff's happening, guys. I'm telling you. And I never, look, I like Michael Saylor. Which, by the way, did you guys see him on stage at Bitcoin 2021?
Yeah.
I gotta say, Max Kaiser, who's obviously nuts, got as much laughter from Michael Saylor as I did. Yeah. This is the Michael Saylor laugh. You guys want to see it? Say something funny, TJ.
Nah, I don't have anything right off the rip. Bitcoin's going to zero.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the Michael Saylor laugh.
It was an interesting pairing. It was definitely two extremes.
But you could tell, the funny thing is you could tell Michael was like trying to go a little more over the top.
Yeah.
But he was just so uncomfortable with it. Like, look, I like Mike. I like Mike. I like MicroStrategy. I don't think that they're doing this. I think Michael Saylor really is all in on Bitcoin. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
All these other corporations that are buying Bitcoin, I don't trust them a lick.
No. Like Guggenheim, Scott Minerd, Grayscale. What about Barry Silbert? Grayscale.
I mean, I have no reason not to like him. Well, I tell you, I'm starting to get away from liking any institutional investing vehicle.
There you go.
So
it's not necessarily Barry, but the vehicle itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's another one of these ways we're inflating the supply in a bit. Not as bad as obviously a futures contract, but by having this premium and it kind of messes with the economics of Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, they're holding it, and their plan is ultimately to move it to an ETF at some point. That could, the ETF thing could be the hopium. That's how you know the bull market.
Yeah, I was gonna say, heard that before.
But I'm just tired. Back to my point here. Tesla already sold $270 million worth of Bitcoin. Okay, now it was all profit that they made. But the fact is, you can't expect these people these corporations not to sell. What is a corporation about? Corporation's about making a buck. Okay, they got shareholders. Their shareholders don't care about a financial future that has changed. They care about how much money their stock is worth.
No, they like the current. They want the future to look kind of how it's been going.
How it looks now.
Yeah, it's been going well. They want it to keep going that way. They don't want change.
No, Tesla sucks. If you own a Tesla, you should sell it. If you own a stock, you should sell it. We should dump this company, man. This company's a joke. We'll have more about this tomorrow, but the whole thing's a joke. It's trash. I'm tired of talking about this guy, so what am I going to do? Make a giant video about him tomorrow. All right, let's move on to, let's see. His name rhymes with
Rump.
Rump. Okay. Old DJT on Bitcoin. Essentially, it's a currency competing against the dollar. And look, guys, here's the thing. If you are, he's the odds-on favorite to be the nominee again. Just so y'all know, by a long shot. He did a speech this week. Me and TJ were talking about. TJ says there's no way he thinks he'll actually run.
I said there's no upside to him winning, so I don't think I think he'll run for exposure, but I don't.
You think he'll run and intentionally lose?
No,
I don't know if he has that in him.
I think he'll run, and doesn't care if he wins or loses.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
So if you are a person who's a president or a former president, or if you're running for office at the head of the United States, I got to say, I understand this point of view, okay? Because if you're in charge of the whole economy, do you want the entire economic system to change while you're in there? Why is our economic system going to change at some point? Disaster.
Yeah.
That's the only way. They're never going to peacefully say, you know what, let's just do something totally new with our economy. Never going to happen. So I understand this idea, and I agree with them 100%. Essentially, Bitcoin is competing against the dollar. And if you're in the government, you want the dollar to remain the world reserve currency. You don't want it to be Bitcoin. Why? Because that's what actually gives the United States the most economic power. Now, I could certainly argue. Do you mean to have all that highlighted?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can't see it if not?
It doesn't, yeah, it helps.
Okay. Just wondering. The point here is that they're not going to give it up without a fight. So on Monday, June 7th, the former U.S. president called Bitcoin a currency during an interview with Stuart Varney. He says, I have not invested in the stock market at this moment. They asked him basically about investing in the stock market and Bitcoin. So he said, I haven't invested in the stock market at this moment. I have in the past, but I have not at this moment. I think it's high. Bitcoin, see, this is obviously where I do disagree with him. It just seems like a scam. I was surprised. With us, it was 6,000 and much lower. Well, that's not actually true. In reality, in January, before he took over, Bitcoin hit 42K. So, yeah, the majority of his presidency was during a bear market. It was 6,000 and much lower while he was president. He said, I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. And this is where I do understand the viewpoint on this, because it is true, it is competing. I just side with Bitcoin. I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. Essentially, it's a currency competing. He repeats everything. Okay, it's funny. It's funny when it's not as weird when you hear it, but when you actually, because I saw this last night, but when you read it, it sounds a little weird. I want the dollar to be the currency of the world. That's what I've always said. He added, the currency of this world should be the dollar, and I don't think we should have all of the bitcoins of the world out there. I think they should regulate them very high, very high. Or he says very, very high. It takes the edge off of the dollar and the importance of the dollar. Like, yeah, it exposes the dollar as a giant Ponzi scheme.
Yep.
Look, guys, here's the truth. At this point, I think it's pretty clear you can call the US dollar a Ponzi scheme because we're inflating the amount to be able to keep paying and running the country.
Yeah.
But you have to keep doing it. And what always happens to a Ponzi scheme? Eventually it pops because there's not enough money out there. You can't print enough money. Like, how many trillions of dollars are they going to have to print next year and the year after? Because here's what you guys don't know. What a lot of you guys don't know, some of you may if you've been watching this channel for a while. What you guys don't know is that the pandemic, it only put us 3 to 4 years ahead of the already estimated rate.
That's insane.
So when you're seeing that money supply that they had to abandon, keeping track of it because it's so parabolic and it's embarrassing. When you saw that was coming pandemic or not. It was just a matter of time. Would it be last year or 3 years? What is that thing going to look like in 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not going to look in 10 years. There's no way they can keep printing at this point. At some point, the bubble has to pop. And when's it going to be? Well, we talked to a guy. It was very interesting. We talked to a guy at the conference, and he came up to me and said, how did you get that date of September 28th?
Oh, yeah, I talked to him, too.
Yeah, for the top. Well, TJ and I talked to all the same people.
Yeah,
amazing.
It was funny. At different places at different
You'd
times.
be like, oh, I talked to this guy. He said this. I'd be like, I talked to that guy, too. And then I do the same thing. But he said, what's really interesting is there's a big Fed meeting right before that date where it's expected that will be when they raise the interest rates back and the whole thing goes to crap.
Yep.
They also said there's a big jobs earning or a big jobs report that'll be due like a week before that or something that'll have a big effect on the market too. So the timing's really weird. Now, I told him I just based it off of the Golden Bull ratio. We talked about that for a minute. But we might see this thing pop by the end of the year. And I ain't talking about Bitcoin. Because look, Bitcoin, when in doubt, zoom out. It always goes up. The dollar's literally the exact opposite.
Yep.
When in doubt, zoom out. You always lose your purchasing power.
Yep.
And that could be part of what could send Bitcoin up to really high numbers at the end of the year. I mean, always got to give the disclaimer, as long as we're still in a bull run, guys. All right, so let's
It's
go
interesting
here.
there he fudged the stock market, too, in that same statement. So, and that could be a massive collapse whenever the Fed does come out to raise those interest rates and the unemployment numbers like you were just alluding to.
Is that how Wall Street fuds? They fud the stocks?
Yeah.
That's what he did there. That'd be interesting. Top White House advisor. Wait, no, this is not the right one.
Oh, I didn't get that switched. He
Oh,
switched
man.
it on me. Here you go. Well, you're good. Just go.
Tim Wu.
Yeah.
Tim Wu. He holds millions in Bitcoin. Great for Tim.
So this is Biden's technology advisor.
Interesting.
His biggest holding, investment-wise, is Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, it's smart. It's very smart. Where is this Ethereum story? Do you know where that is?
I don't.
Sovereign ETH? Is this about
Do you
Panama
s-
buying ETH?
He wrote, yes, that's probably towards the end. Do you see that on the right?
Oh, it says, it is the Turkey story. It is Turkey story. That's it. Gold-backed digital tokens to hit Turkish market following new partnership. I just saw gold-backed, and I was like, gold-back. That's what all the gold investors would like to do is give their gold back, get Bitcoin. Partnership enables investors to purchase grams of accredited gold as ERC20s. Gold, if you don't know what an ERC20 is, it's a token on Ethereum. Gold wholesalers are starting to find new ways to expand their business to retail thanks to blockchain-based tokenization. International bullion trading company Aga Bullion and UK-based fintech Oris Technologies have signed a partnership to offer gold-backed tokens in the Turkish market. As a gold-backed ERC20 on the Ethereum blockchain, Oris Gold is minted and distributed by precious metals dealers using Oris's blockchain-based solution. Gold is the oldest decentralized finance system in the world. That's definitely not true. I mean, at one point it was, before the gold market makers started coming in and controlling the supply.
Yeah, you can't really call it decentralized.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can kind of think of it like, yes, in a way, at the beginning. You know, when gold first, started trading. You know, like, I don't know when gold was first used back in Egypt. I don't know. Whenever people started using gold, like, it was decentralized, kind of like cash. You know, like you use it, nobody tracks it. It's what it is. But now it's highly, highly, highly centralized. Turkey's history in investing physical gold, along with high adoption rates of crypto, as an alternative way to protect wealth, makes the country an attractive market for digital gold. Now, I tell you what's really interesting is thinking about all of these countries that are, involved right now in what's hot in crypto. Which one are we on, by the way? That's weird. Why is the preview one lower than the other one? It never happens.
Because I skipped down and went back. Because I was just going to skip to the next one and then come back.
Yeah, well, let's just... the gold thing is good. We're already, way over time. So, Look, guys, digital-backed ERC, gold-backed ERC20 tokens are coming. But I think the thing I was going to say that's interesting is when you look at these countries that are starting to make appearances, they're all kind of the same ilk. They're all countries that aren't where other countries are in terms of economy. We're not seeing France come out and say, "Oui, I Bitcoin." We're not seeing the Australian government come out and say, we're afraid gold's going down under. Let's buy some Bitcoin. Like, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing America embracing Bitcoin. You're seeing second, third world countries, start to embrace Bitcoin. Turkey's actually pretty much higher, I think. I think Turkey's not a third world country. I think it is a second world country.
Yeah. But it is interesting. A lot of the countries that have been excluded from the current economic system are the ones that are looking at Bitcoin as a solution. People that need it.
Yeah, exactly. Like politicians in Panama, Brazil, Argentina, and Paraguay. Met a lot of people from Argentina at the conference, by the way.
Yeah.
Look to follow El Salvador on Bitcoin adoption. Lawmakers from several other Latin American countries have been following El Salvador. And they're basically saying, yeah, sounds good. Let's do it. Panamanian Congressman Gabriel Silva said he was preparing a proposal to present at the National Assembly. Now, we do have to, kind of be real about all this. We're hearing a lot of talk, and like TJ said yesterday, we don't know the inner workings of their country's Congress or Senate or, legislation branches. But we're assuming that all of these bold statements these leaders are making it's going to happen. But we don't know that for sure. None of these have actually been signed into law yet. So
right. It's all speculation still at this point. Now, we do know where in these countries where they're more or less a dictatorship, kind of what the leader says goes. They don't, when they propose a bill, their Congress has to vote on it, but they can't really say no.
Yeah.
So it's not too big of a leap, but like you said, it hasn't actually materialized.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of, we talked about the Turkey story with Ethereum, and now we're looking at Panama and El Salvador, possibly Argentina, possibly Paraguay, Brazil. A lot of these countries are looking favorably towards Bitcoin as a way to level the playing field. And if you really think of the world in a borderless digital economy like we live in, it makes sense. Why would any country be further along economically when basically every outside of natural resources, right? We all have natural resources. Obviously we know what they always fight over in the Middle East, oil. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Okay. You look at other places that have, Russia's got a lot of oil as well. You look at the United States and we export a lot of hamburgers. I wish we keep them here. Love hamburgers.
We don't do a lot of exports. We do a lot of consumption.
You look at other places where they're basically rich in labor force, because they got people that need money. this guy. But really outside of those things, what barriers should there be to bringing everyone into the world economy and giving everybody kind of a level playing field? At this point, God, we miss Elrond a lot. I know because I have my phone in my pocket.
Oh, no TikTok.
But yeah, we never do TikTok when Elron's not here.
We miss you, bud.
Yeah, we miss you, Elron. We're going to give you a raise when you get back. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did. That's fine.
It's okay. When he's signing the paperwork for the raise, he'll probably cut it off like mid-sig.
Yeah, mid-signature.
Mid-sig, you know. So, anyways, this phone right here, okay, smartphone. This brings everything a person needs to be able to function in the world economy. Every person should have one of these. These are luxuries in a lot of countries. Talking with somebody else, I don't know what I can say publicly and what I can't, but basically working with places to get these phones into everyone's hand in the world. That right there is what's going to unlock the entire digital economy. And we're going to see a total borderless economy. It's not physical borders, of course. I think you need those to some extent. No hate on people that, no hate, just saying. I think, physical borders in a lot of places, absolutely crucial. But there's no reason to have digital fences or digital borders. Imagine if we could bring China into our economy, right? Like, there's a digital fence around China. They can't even use the same websites we can use. We're getting too much segregation and sectionalization across the world. And what these countries in Latin America and South America are realizing is that this is an opportunity for them to be out on the front edge of basically the Industrial Revolution, the equivalent of it digitally with finance. So, and you guys know the number one thing in the world when it comes to making money is money. Derivatives, fake money is a third of the entire. Is it a third? Yeah. No, I think it's actually more than that. I think it's actually 60% of our entire economy in the world is fake money. So, derivatives. So let's go to the last story here. Zoom out. Was there a story for this, or was I just supposed to talk about zooming out?
He wrote you
He did.
outline somewhere. I have no idea. This stuff's not in order.
Yeah, I think it actually, for the most part, was in order. So, but there was a lot of stories on the front end.
Go ahead. I have no idea what the last story is.
I don't know if there is a last story, but this is what I want to tell you guys. I've made money in crypto. Bitcoin can go down to $5,000. I'll still be a multimillionaire. Okay? Why is that? It's because I believe deeply in Bitcoin. I believe deeply in Ethereum. I believe deeply in blockchain technology. So what happened was, if I go back 4 years ago, I was not rich. Didn't even have 6 figures in the bank. Not even close to it, actually. Not even close to that. Don't make it sound like I had $90,000 in the bank. Not close to it. Okay? Struggle to get 5, maybe. But I didn't let that deter me in this market because I know what is coming. And we can sit here and we can disagree about prices going up, prices going down, bull market, bear market, red candle, green candle. We can argue about all that. And if you are the type of person that if Bitcoin does not come back up by the end of this year, that you will be out, just go ahead and leave. Go ahead and leave. Because even if you do make money, you're going to lose it all anyways. The way that you make money in this market is conviction. You make money with conviction for blockchain, conviction for Bitcoin. See what Kevin O'Leary said. You see what I'm saying. And at this point, we're going to take a broader approach to crypto. Are we going to talk about the charts every day? Yes, we are certainly going to talk about charts every day. Why? Because I know that's what you guys want. You watch this channel. You want information. You want charts. We're going to be doing more TA, bringing on more experts. We're going to do Around the Blockchain every day where you get perspective. But we're going to take a broader outlook to what's going on in crypto. And you guys remember how we made war with F2 Pool? I'm ready to make war with some folks. Because the retail trader loses consistently. Why do they do that? Because they listen to the manipulation. They listen to the whims of these banking organizations. They listen to the whims of these governments. And meanwhile, the entire time, all these people are trying to do is pry your Bitcoin from your hand. Well, they're going to have to they're going to have to get it out of my dead hand. Okay? I'm not giving it up. And you guys should be thinking about that. If you zoom out and you look at the Bitcoin chart over time, since it's the beginning, it consistently makes tiny dips out of giant dips. What do I mean by that? Go try to find the 83% drop from 2013 on the historical chart. Try to find it. You can't. Why? Because it's a blip on the radar. It's a blip on the radar to what Bitcoin and crypto can do for you financially and will do for the world. What blockchain technology, I believe blockchain technology has the ability to solve every major problem we have in the world. I believe that. That's why I'm here. And you know what? That's why I made money. Because this is not a fly-by-night organization. This is not a multi-level marketing scheme. This is not where, some boss babe DMs you on Instagram and says, hey, hun, remember when we were in high school, you were trying to lose weight? I got a rap for you. That's not what Bitcoin is. This is a fundamental change to the world, to finance, to society. And we want to play a role in helping to push that forward, not pull it back. So for you guys to stay through all this, if we do go into a bear market, just remember, you always get rewarded for sticking it out. That's all I got. Be blessed, BitBoy.